I do not think I am exaggerating when I say that these tips I'm sharing today actually changed my life. They allowed me to go from someone who honestly always was compulsively buying things, little things, spending money constantly, to someone who's not just more content with what I have, but allowed us to make major progress in financial goals like paying off debt. I am Jess, and I am passionate about helping women cultivate contentment exactly where they are. So I make videos on minimalism, slow living, intentional motherhood. Truth be told, I had very little financial wisdom, education, awareness around budgeting, finances, and in my head I thought I was really frugal because I was always someone that looked for a deal, and I was never someone that made really big purchases or paid a lot of money at one time. But the truth was that money was constantly flowing out. Buying a mug that I didn't need, going out to Target, putzing around at the mall. I was constantly dealing with this need to buy things. The first thing to do is a massive declutter and audit session. This was actually such a painful process for me because once I started getting into the habit of decluttering and really looking at all the things I owned, I realized just how much, oh, I don't wear that thing that I bought, and we barely use this thing that we spent money on, and how much of a pain it was to sell things, to get rid of things. Once I came face to face with the fact that everything that I already own is inventory that I have to manage, and that I can either contribute to more stress by adding more inventory. You realize that everything that you're buying, even if it's like small mugs, this extra throw pillow, this cute dress that was on sale, you have to manage it. And as long as I was stuffing it in closets or stuffing it in drawers, I could pretend that that was not the case and I wasn't having to audit my own inventory. Auditing your things and realizing, wow, we own so much stuff, and how much of that is really used and loved in your home. For me, it really made me think twice about getting that extra mug at Marshall's. Before you add more inventory, get very familiar with what you have and do a full audit. And I promise you, it will start to turn those wheels and make you think about buying differently. Second thing I did was I stopped making shopping a pastime. I remember reading in the book, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, which is one of my favorites. I've mentioned it often on this channel. It says that as of 2019, when the book was written, shopping was the leading American pastime. If you had nothing to do, you'd go to the mall, you'd go to the local shopping center, you'd go to Target, like you would just kind of putz around looking at things. And it's really, really difficult when you're doing that as a constant pastime for you to not be tempted to constantly pick something up, not just because you're exposed to all of these new shiny things, but because it can almost feel like you have to buy something to justify the trip. Well, I'll just grab this cute new candle, or this little mug, or this dress that's on sale, just something to justify driving over there and walking around. My husband and I, our constant pastime was like, we would go to Costco even if we didn't need to go to Costco. Just to go somewhere. And now we choose to do things that are truly restorative, not just to remove the temptation to constantly be spending our money unnecessarily, but we choose more restorative items on our weekends. So we try to drive to the lake, or we go find a creek, or we go on trail walks. We do things as a family that are truly restorative, which has been like a double bonus because they actually really give life to our family, and they allow us to be a lot more intentional about our spending, so that when we do need to go to a store, we know why we're going. We're not just going to putz around. I usually know what we need to get. It minimizes extraneous spending. Third tip I have, especially for helping to curb that impulse to constantly want to buy things, is to write it down. Sometimes when we see a really cute outfit, or we see this new supplement, or we see whatever it is that's tempting for you, you feel this like energy and you need to do something with it. And for me, for the longest time, it was either like buy it now because it's not going to be there, right? It's that sense of urgency, or you walk away from it and that doesn't feel good either. I started to take pictures of things I really liked and I would write them down. It's something to do with that energy, and it kind of just lets you know, if I really like it, like I have the info, I can come back to it. It helps to kind of diffuse that urgency in the moment that's telling you to buy it now. That's how, pretty much all marketing works, right? They try to create urgency so that you feel like there really is no other opportunity to get something like this than right now. That sense of urgency is what leads us to constantly be consuming things all the time because we feel like we're missing out. I take pictures of it, I get rid of that energy, and sometimes there are things that I really do mull over. Like days go by and I think, I actually really, really do love that shirt. It would fit in my clothing. I've been looking for a shirt like this, XYZ. And I can choose thoughtfully as I've had time to think about it, talk to my husband about it, where we can go and purchase that item. And then if it happens that they're all gone or the sale's over, whatever, I actually have come to the place where I know there are a lot of beautiful clothes in the world. And chances are I will come across something with a similar vibe that will fit a similar need in my closet, and it will be okay. Getting to the point where you remove the urgency out of buying in a world that's constantly trying to make you feel urgent, because that's how they get you to buy stuff. It's awesome to intentionally put money towards things that add value to your life. Buying it because you feel like you have a fear of missing out, in my experience, has led to unwise financial decisions. And so writing things out, doing something with that impulse has allowed me to be a lot more thoughtful and less urgent with my buying decisions. My fourth tip might seem like an obvious one, but I don't actually think it is. Have less stuff in general. The more stuff you have, the less valuable it often seems. At least that's what I've observed in my own life and in the people around me. When I had a closet that was bursting with clothes, I treated them with a lot less care, even in the way that I wouldn't put my clothes away. There was often a pile of laundry on my dresser. Your brain kind of devalues them because there's just an excess of them. Have you ever been at Forever 21? Chaos. It's chaos. I haven't been there, honestly, since I was 21. I remember it was like, there's so many clothes, and even when you see people shopping there, it's like something will fall off the hanger and they don't really put it up, and stuff is thrown everywhere. There's just so much to go. You're overwhelmed. You don't even know. If I took 20 items from the same store and I put them in a different store and those were all the items in the store, I bet you people would shop there differently. They would not be so tempted to just like handle them willy-nilly. They'd put them back on the hanger. There would be a completely different feel in that room, even though the clothes are the same quality. A lot of my channels dedicated to my journey to minimalism, I went through the journey of going from a cluttered and chaotic environment to one that actually felt peaceful, that I could manage, that I could keep clean better. I'm not so quick to mess with that, or just buy something just because it's on sale. Now it's allowed me, kind of like the gravity of my buying choices, to be a lot more intentional about, okay, but do I actually want this in my home? Is this adding to peace in my home, or is it going to add to chaos? And of course, there are imperfect purchases that we all make. I'm not perfect about this at all. But I will say that having less stuff has enabled me to be more thoughtful with my purchases. I have a lot of videos on minimalism, and I will link to a few in the credits and in the description box. My fifth tip is to write down very tangible financial goals and have them somewhere that is accessible. Having a financial goal that is in your mind, why you have that goal, what that goal looks like, what that entails financially, it puts into perspective asking the question, are the purchases that we're making moving us toward that goal or away from that goal? For example, years ago, when a big goal of ours was paying off student loans, here's what that would mean, here's how much we would need to pay off per month, etc. I started to really think twice about $5 here, $10 here on things I didn't need and weren't necessarily furthering the goal. And it was the little things that really added up for us. And it brings, I think, a bigger purpose to your purchasing habits, which leads me to my sixth tip, and it kind of goes in line, which is get very clear on your values and don't take on others when it comes to spending. Sorry, I had to take a lemonade break. It's 103 degrees outside. We're sweating in lots of places right now. The world will try to pull you in a million different directions. Even if it's an influencer online, hello, someone that you like and you trust, you look up to, they could be sharing about a product that is genuinely meaningful. Let's even assume like it really is a great product for them. They love it, it's added value to their life. What will add value and meaning to their life and their situation could be completely different than yours. So if they're going on and on and on about this thing that they love that changed life, etc., that could be great for them. That doesn't mean it's gonna do the same to you. And this is a big deal, I think, right now with social media. That's where a lot, I think, of the temptation to buy is coming from, because you spend time on Instagram, you spend time on any social media platform, and you are getting bombarded with a lot of ads. And unfortunately, we are exposed to way more ads than we ever were, even just growing up. You're watching commercials on a television. We are exposed to so much more now with the use of social media. And so minimizing our social media use, if you find that that is a huge way that you are tempted to buy, can be very helpful. Just removing the temptation altogether. These people that you're following are not necessarily reflecting the same values and the goals that you have. For example, I have this stand-up pool. My daughter and my husband are literally swimming in it right now. I love this pool. Okay, we bought this pool this year. It has literally been so wonderful. A huge value of us as a family is spending a lot of time outside and a lot of time together. Where I live in the summer, we have a long summer season and it is hot. The pool has allowed us to be able to be outside on really hot days, to spend time as a family. It has added immense value to our life. We love that thing. Maybe one of your kids doesn't like to swim. They wouldn't want to get into it. Maybe you live near a creek or something. You live near more natural bodies of water where that's not really necessary. Maybe you live where it doesn't get that hot in the summer. But you see videos of my kid and she's independently playing and everyone looks so happy and you think that's what we need. We need this stand-up pool. And then it's like a flop for your family. That happens all the time, and it's okay to leave room for imperfect purchases, but something to always remember in the world of online shopping is amazing purchase for someone does not necessarily mean it's going to be an amazing purchase for you. So getting very clear on your family values, what is important to you, just like your financial goals, and then aligning purchases towards that allows you to be in charge of your own finances and not feel like you're pulled in a million different directions based on marketing. The last tip, this was a huge one that allowed me to curb my impulsive buying and allowed me to really just stop feeling like I want to buy stuff all the time, was accountability. My husband and I, our finances are joined. We don't really make purchases without running it by the other person. It's a form of us saying we are on the same team. Oh, hey, like I have to reorder XYZ from Amazon, it's gonna be this much. Are you cool with that? Not only is just the act of having like someone to hold you accountable or sharing that with you make you more methodical about your purchases, I think, but there are times when he can add wisdom or kind of be like, oh, hey, this is pretty expensive and we've ordered it multiple times from Amazon. What purpose is it serving? Or like, is there like a cheaper way we could do something? Sometimes things I haven't truly thought about it. And I do the same thing with him. Hey, like you're spending this much money doing this hobby. Is there a way that we could shift it here? Like, what does this look like? Having two eyes on that is, I think, brings more wisdom to the situation. Now, if you're not married, you're in a different situation, even just asking a friend and saying, hey, I've been really struggling with my spending habits. I have a goal of saving up for a car, paying off student loans, whatever. Can I send you my spending list every month just for you to look over at? It's not about feeling like ashamed. It's about knowing like I have someone to hold me accountable to the goals that I say that I have. It can be extremely helpful, especially if you are in a tight financial situation and you really want to make progress on those financial goals and you find yourself really struggling with impulse buying. Accountability is a beautiful thing, and it has been extremely helpful for both my husband and I to continue to grow in financial wisdom and to stop impulsively buying things. I hope these tips enable you to be a lot more thoughtful about your purchases and to feel a lot more peaceful in your home with what inventory you have to manage. I will see you in the next video.